Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'd like to welcome all of you to the fourth channeling of the words of the Prophet Muhammad. I'm Barry Strohm, and I'll be speaking his words. Our sole intent in doing this is to bring honor to the Prophet. His spirit has requested that we bring you these messages, and it is our honor to speak for him and act as his messenger.
I'm Connie Strohm, and I will be asking the questions of the Prophet. All of the questions have been submitted by members of the Muslim faith. In the future, we will be doing more sessions with the Prophet, and we encourage you to submit more questions because you all have the best questions.
Okay, Connie.
Muhammad, thank you so much for being with us again. Would you like to begin with a message?
Yes, I would. I am speaking to you once again because I feel it is very important that all of you understand my messages and that all of you can hear what my beliefs are. When I walked the earth, it was many, many years ago, and many of the teachings that I did applied to that time. Many things have changed since my lifetime. Many of you have got modern technologies now. The world has changed, and I feel that it is important that you understand that my basic message will be the same, but that the specifics have changed. I feel that it is very important that the Islam religion adapts to the modern technologies and the modern ways of doing things. I know that many of you believe that the old ways are the best. I can associate with that, and I truly understand why you believe it. But you have to understand that times change. If our religion is going to grow into the future, then it is very important that the young understand that our religion is adaptable to current times. Many of our young are highly educated, and many of them know full well how to use the modern technologies. I would hope that my messages will help bring those young people into our religion. It is very important for the evolution of man that our religion succeeds far into the future. So with that, I'm here to answer questions. I want to thank all of you that have submitted them. I know that we will be doing this several times in the future. And if you submit questions, I am sure that Barry will use them for you. So thank you, Connie. I'm now ready to answer your questions.
Okay, Muhammad, why has Barry been chosen and actually given the honor of bringing your messages?
I have chosen Barry because he walked the earth with me when I was alive. He was one of my most faithful servants, and I knew that when we sent him back, that he could be trusted to bring my words to the people in an honest and straightforward fashion. I hope that all of you will pay attention to his words. Do not wish him any harm. He is simply following my messages. Before he returned in this lifetime, I told him what his responsibility would be, and I asked him to make sure that he would speak my words. He is following through with my requests. Connie is assisting him, and they are doing exactly as I have asked them.
Okay. How can our listeners be sure that they really are hearing the words of the Prophet Muhammad?
If you have listened to my previous channels, you will understand that much of what I said could have only been said by myself. There will be many difficult questions in today's sessions, and I can assure you that Barry and Connie have no way of knowing what my answers will be. I know that speaking to spirits is adverse to many of the teachings in the Quran and the Hadith. I did not truly understand the capabilities of what a spirit could do and on the other side when I was in life. It was only when I passed from the human life that I truly understood the capabilities of what a spirit can do. Trust me when I tell you that you are truly hearing the words of the prophet.
According to the Muslim historians, you were born April 20th in 572 AD. Is that accurate? And if not, when were you born?
As you know, there is a difference in our calendars, but I was born in the month of April. I am not truly sure of what the exact day was, but I do know that it was in April.
Okay. Have you made peace with all the souls that have been killed or suffered in the military conflicts in which you fought?
You need to understand that when souls are killed in a military conflict, as long as you are protecting the innocent, those souls are treated differently. If an individual just goes out and kills someone, then that is a sin. You should never do that. But God accepts the fact that humans are actually quite warlike. And as long as you're acting in the interest of protecting the innocent, or in my case, I was trying to protect a young religion, then you're not held responsible for those souls. Now, you must act responsibly. You cannot indiscriminately kill, and you must truly act to preserve the innocent. But I did not have any karmas from my actions. Although there were times that I should have protected individuals, my guides pointed that out to me. But my actions did not incur any lasting karmic debt.
Okay. You told us in a previous channeling that homosexuality is a lesson that the souls must learn. Why do some Muslim leaders call for the death of homosexuals based on the teachings of the Quran?
When the writings of the Quran were put together, we were trying to eliminate the homosexual acts that many of my followers were performing upon their slaves. I felt that it was very wrong. I did not want them to have to put their slaves through sexual actions such as we are talking about. The wording is fairly strong in the Quran for that reason. Now, what I did not truly understand was that homosexuality can be a life lesson that a soul has to learn. There are many individuals that are sent back with a homosexual lifestyle, and that is what is in their life plans. Those individuals should never have their lives shortened because of that life plan. These are not things that I truly understood when I walked the earth. So many of the teachings reflect what I understood when I was alive, and many of the writings in the Quran reflect what I was attempting to achieve.
Okay. What do you think of the violent reaction of Muslims after some artists used your image in comedies, caricatures, and cartoons?
I want you to understand that I do think that it is very wrong for any individual to use my caricature or my image and make fun of it. When they are doing that, they are essentially making fun of a wonderful religion. However, I do believe that the taking of the lives of those individuals is a very extreme act, and it should not happen. There are other things that you can do to individuals such as that. You can isolate them. You cannot pay attention to them. You can disregard their works. Quite often, individuals that would be inclined to do such actions want attention. Quite often, if you would just simply ignore them, it could be their strongest penalty.
Yes, indeed. Okay, you told us in prior channelings that you have only served God in a single reincarnation on Earth. Do you plan any future reincarnations on Earth?
At the present time, it is quite possible that I will return. But understand this: if I return, it will not be in the person of Muhammad. I would take a different human form, and I would take a different human shape, or you would never recognize me as Muhammad. It is quite possible that I will try to return as a religious leader in an effort to reunite the Islamic community. I know that God is very displeased with much of the differences that are occurring in our great religion. And it is quite possible that I will return in the near future. But it will be as another human form.
Okay. In your time, there appeared a person named Musaylima who said that he was a prophet. Was he truly a prophet that received messages from God?
He received messages, but they were not from God. He did not recognize the difference between a message that he was receiving from other spirits or his guides and messages that he would truly receive from God. In my lifetime, I did truly receive messages from God. He honestly felt that his message were of God, but I can tell you that they were not.
Okay. In the Hadith, you advise Muslims to start glorifying God and thanking God before asking for supplication. It also says that it's a necessary condition for prayers to be heard. Will you please clarify this for us?
In those early days, we were trying to set precedents and to form habits of individuals. Keep in mind that I was speaking of a new religion. We tried to give many instructions on how individuals would pray or act or live in this new religion of which we spoke. Today, individuals are living far different lives than they lived in those days. It is possible to pray without going through all of the rituals, or necessarily thanking God, although it is a very good thing in your prayers that you would follow those rituals, because God does hear every word. But there are times where you can pray without going through all of the rituals which were laid out by your ancients.
Did you say whoever changes his religion, execute him?
There was a time that people were leaving my religion and joining military forces that were fighting against me. I did say that individuals that would leave our religion and would fight against me would be punishable with death. I did not mean that all individuals that drop out of the Islamic faith should be murdered or killed. It is only common sense to think that an individual would be reluctant to join a religion, and perhaps he finds that that religion is not best for his life plan or soul adventure. If an individual knew that he would be punishable by death if that religion did not work out for him, it is only common sense that they would not join that religion. So I do not mean in any way that individuals that change their minds and find that our faith is not what is acceptable for them, they should never be killed or beaten or ostracized in any way.
Why does the Quran call for the cutting of the throats of polytheists?
Once again, in those days, many of the Arabs would worship many gods. We felt that if severe penalties were placed upon those individuals, that it would help for them to maintain a presence in our new faith. While today, that sounds very brutal. Keep in mind that when we were forming our religion, it was very brutal times, and people had worshipped many gods for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Okay, the next question has sort of been answered before, but let me ask it anyway. Why does the Quran call for the cutting of the... there are teachings in Islam that call for the killing of those who disobey the prophets or are homosexuals. Do those teachings come from God?
Those teachings were the product of our times. We were trying to maintain a membership in our new religion. Sometimes the wordings were very brutal. Taken in the eyes of the modern person, many of those wordings were extremely brutal. Today, things have changed. And in many ways, individuals must be allowed to follow their life plans. It is possible that an individual would try Islam as part of their life plan, but would not feel fulfilled by our religion or faith. We do not in any way today want those individuals to be harmed or injured.
Did God ever send any messengers that were homosexual?
God has sent many people back to speak the message. There were indeed individuals that have been sent back that would be considered homosexuals. It is or was a practice that was not spoken of in the past. Today, in your modern times, it is very conceivable that individuals that have homosexual as part of their life plans speak of it openly. That was never the practice in ancient days. So there were messengers of the church that were sent back that were indeed homosexuals.
Did you intend that Islam would become a religion of love and peace?
We did not live in a time of love and peace when we formed the Islamic faith. In those days, individuals did not think far into the future. We would hope, now that I have the experience of being on the other side, that love and peace would be an important part of any religion. When I walked the earth, things were very, very different. The times were incredibly violent, and only violence would assure that our faith would have a strong foundation.
What do you think when you see Muslims kill Christians in the name of Allah?
Allah would never have you kill another individual simply because they were of another faith. Keep in mind that Allah is the one God, and that one God has founded the other faith. So, why would you ever think that it would be fine for you to kill an individual of another faith that has been founded by the one God?
Why do we find in the teaching of Islam that non-Muslims will go to hell after death?
Keep in mind again that the Christian religion existed for hundreds of years before our founding of Islam. The Christian religion had the concept of hell as an enduring place of fire and torture. We wanted to maintain our membership of the new faith, and it was natural that we would emulate the concept of hell, and in order to bring non-Muslims into the faith, it was written that they would go to hell after death. Now that I'm on the other side, I totally understand that that is not the case.
Why do we find that circumcision is an Islamic custom that you suggested?
I felt that physical sacrifice should be part of the Islamic custom. And I felt that circumcision was a type of physical sacrifice that had been mentioned in the earlier faiths, and I felt at the time that it would be beneficial for the Islamic faith as well.
Is this custom ordained by God?
It is accepted by God, but it is not ordained by God.
In your opinion, what is the main reason that the younger generation is leaving Islam?
I feel that the main reason that the younger generation is leaving Islam is because of the many strict rules that are being enforced by certain members of our faith. For instance, a woman who is well educated and has been living among individuals outside of our faith would be very hesitant to wear a hijab. People would be very reluctant to join a faith where if they felt that it wasn't working out for them, that their lives would be in danger. The younger generation needs to understand that Islam is a faith capable of growing in this modern culture. Many of the practices that worked in the 7th century will not work for our younger generations. In the 7th century, the younger generation had no idea what was taking place in the world around them. Today, the younger generation has access to social media, to television. They see all of the things that the young in the other countries are practicing, and they are very reluctant to do many of the conservative practices that are required in our faith. Many people are choosing to leave the faith simply because they do not feel that it is adapting to the modern generation's way of life.
Okay, in your opinion, who is the best person who represented Islam after your death?
The 4 followers all thought that they were representing Islam in the manner in which I had chosen. I would feel that Abba probably came closer to following my teachings, but I know that all 4 thought that they were following my requests in how to lead the religion forward.
Do you believe that in these modern times a woman should wear a hijab?
In my time, there was a very strong reason for it. Today, I believe that a woman should be allowed to choose her manner of dress, but I do feel that that manner of dress should be very conservative so as not to raise the passions of the males that are around them. I do not believe in any way that a woman should dress in a sexually exposing fashion. I think that that serves no purpose and can only lead to problems in their relationships.
There are conflicts between the different Islamic sects because there's a big difference in understanding of the hadith. What is your opinion?
The differences make me very sad. I always intended that there would only be one Islamic faith. I think that if the members of our faith would not dwell upon the details of how our faith got to where they are today, but focused on the concepts that are taught in our faith, that they would be able to heal the differences. If you look at the differences, you will find that they are over details. Many of those details, after all these years, are not consequential. I think that the sect of Islam should focus upon love, understanding others, and doing what is right. Then there would be no reason for these current differences.
When you walked the earth, were you aware of other continents, such as Australia and North America?
No, absolutely not. We were aware of other countries around us. We knew the history of the Roman Empire, and we knew that there were areas in Asia that had been conquered by the earlier cultures. But we never knew that there were other land masses outside of those which you currently refer to as Europe, Asia, and Africa.
Did the history of man on this planet begin only 10,000 years ago?
No. Man has been on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years and has evolved as to the plan of the one God. We did not have access to such information. It is only through your modern scientific studies that evolution has been understood. When we walked the earth, we had no idea of how man had truly evolved.
Did Adam and Eve exist?
When we thought of the creation of man and woman, we felt that it could only take place through the sexual act of a man and a woman. We did not have any concept, as I just said, of evolution. So we felt that the Adam and Eve portrayed by the ancient religions was accurate and was the only way that man and woman could be created. We now know that Adam and Eve did not exist.
Why are all the prophets males?
During our time, it was a male world. The women were to raise families, to serve the man, and to not be educated as the males were. All of the prophets of the early Islamic faith were of that culture. So only the males were considered the true prophets.
Has there ever been a female prophet?
There have been women that have been sent back to help guide the Islamic faith. My wife, Aisha, my daughter, they could be considered female prophets, but they were not accepted as such because of the male phobia.
When you walked the earth, were you aware of life on other planets?
I had had visions and dreams. The jinn were an example of that. I felt truly that there was life on other planets, but I never had any proof of such. Today, you are getting more and more proof of life on other planets. But in my time, we did not have such proof. I know there were other cultures that may have had contact with individuals from other planets, but I had never had such personal contact.
Now that you're on the other side, you are aware of a lot much more information. What could you tell us about life on other planets?
I can tell you unequivocally that there are life on other planets. There is life in our galaxy on many planets, and all of those planets follow the one God that we follow. Many of those planets have had life for millions and millions of years, and they have adapted to the point that they totally understand that coexistence and love is the key. Those other planets have life that understand truly that their great technologies could be used to totally destroy life on other planets. But they know that should they do anything that would destroy major life forms, that they would be, in all probability, destroyed as well. Humans have still to learn the fact of coexistence.
Okay. When will we have full disclosure on life on other planets?
You are currently gaining information that will lead to full disclosure. Disclosure has already begun. With modern technology, there is no way to continue to hide the life on other planets. It will be within this generation that people truly understand of the life that is going on around them.
Okay. In the future, will we be able to explore life on the other planets?
Your technologies will truly lead to the point that you can explore life on other planets if you do not choose to destroy each other in the interim.
Yes. What do you think of the work of Dr. Adnan Ibrahim? He's trying to explain Islam in a modern way.
Dr. Ibrahim is trying to modernize our faith. I have been trying to influence him. He does not have the ability to communicate with me as you that are listening have. Perhaps he will listen to one of our tapes, and perhaps he will make contact with Barry so that he can speak with me. He is doing some things that are very positive, but he is doing some things that is not being met in a positive fashion by the members of our faith.
What would you advise him?
I would advise him to go slowly. I would advise him to try to work with the more conservative members of our faith and try to convince them that they truly have to modernize. He should meet with those that are truly trying to modernize the faith currently. They are taking a more liberal view of my teachings, and they are trying to conform. He is attempting to do what needs to be done in the future.
What is your opinion of the book Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh?
The book Conversation with God has some very good meanings in it. There are things in there that are not necessarily accurate, but the author has attempted to follow information that his guides were giving him, and God has attempted to give him messages as well. In general, I would say that his book is not doing any harm to our faith.
Will there ever be a leader capable of uniting the Islamic sects and leading them into the future?
That is something that all of us on this side hope for at all times. When I answered a question earlier, I spoke that there was a great possibility that I would return. There are many over here that think I am probably the only one capable of bringing teachings that would reunite the faith. However, the hatreds are incredibly deep set. I would hope that there would be a time that reason would come to all of the leaders of all of the sects of Islam. I do believe there will truly be a time in the future that God will send back one of his messengers, and that he will make great progress in reuniting the sects.
I hope that is true. The Quran and Hadith both make reference to witchcraft and sorcery. What would you tell the followers of Islam about the existence of witchcraft and sorcery?
At the time of the writings, the ancients believed that there were individuals that could do acts of sorcery or witchcraft. There were individuals that were definitely overtaken with evil energies and that were capable of doing much evil. The concept of witchcraft and sorcery does not truly exist. There are evil energies that can carry out acts that, in my time, were associated with witchcraft and sorcery.
Islamic scholars forbid all forms of communication with spirits and consider those who do infidels. We're communicating with you in spirit form. What would you tell our listeners?
I would tell our listeners that you are truly hearing the words of the Prophet Muhammad. While these words may differ from many of the teachings with which you are familiar, they are words that I feel are necessary to carry our faith into the future. The ancients considered evil energies as possibly being associated with spirits. And there were many of the ancient scholars that felt that people who communicated with spirits were receiving lessons that were different from the defined teachings of Islam. The ancient scholars did not want to have any other type of teachings introduced into the faith. So they taught that those that speak with spirits are infidels and should be punished. That is no different to what happened with the Christian church. In the writings of their gospels, they state that it is wrong to communicate with spirits. Sadly, through the ages, spirits have tried to communicate many ideas of truth that were in conflict with the desires of those that were in charge of the religions. That is why it is written in most of the large religions that spirit communication is to be avoided. But I can assure you that the messages that can be received from the other side can be of very great benefit. I hope that all of you that are listening will continue to listen to all of the message that I will bring you. And I can assure you that I am not an infidel.
Would you explain the evil eye as described in the Hadith?
Once again, the evil eye is a concept associated with evil energies. The concept of evil watching and trying to lead people away from the faith is described in the Hadith. If you think of the evil eye as something one human might feel for another, perhaps that individual wants to take over the wealth of another, perhaps he wants the wife of another, it is part of a general concept of actions that should be avoided.
According to the Quran, Jesus was a prophet, was crucified, but escaped death, and rejects the idea that Jesus was a god. How accurate are the statements in the Quran about Jesus?
At the time of the writings of the Quran, over 500 years had passed since the crucifixion of Jesus. There was much dissension among the Christians at that time, and there were many, many different teachings. There were individuals that taught that Jesus had, in fact, escaped death at the crucifixion. I can tell you unequivocally that Jesus did die on the cross on that day. The statements in the Quran about Jesus were influenced by many of the various teachings of Christianity during the 7th century.
In earlier sessions, you told us that you had heard about reincarnation, did not fully understand it, and believed the concept was too difficult to understand. Now that you're on the other side, what would you tell us about reincarnation?
I would tell you that reincarnation is absolute. Souls return time and time again with different life plans. All souls have got energies that live eternally. Those soul energies have been around since creation. Those souls will continue into the future. Soul energies must learn lessons. They have been returning throughout history and time, and souls learn lessons. Sometimes they learn bad lessons, and sometimes souls become very close to God by living wonderful lives and following the commands of the one God. If you have been born a human, you have lived many lives previous to this. And after your passing, you have free will, but you can return and learn more lessons in an effort to become closer to God. Barry served me in my lifetime, and he has returned to serve me again by passing on my messages. That type of action is one of the beauties of reincarnation.
After your death, Muslims were divided into two warring factions. The first group was led by your daughter Fatima and Ali. The second group was led by Muawiyah and supported by your wife Aisha. What's your opinion about Muawiyah and his fight against Ali?
I wish that it had never happened. I wish that there could have been a better understanding of my teachings and what I wanted for the faith. Aisha knew much of my teachings and supported those teachings with many writings. My daughter was also very close to me and thought that she understood my teachings as well. I wish that I had been more clear about my hope for the future of the Islamic faith. I did not want such dissension and fighting to break out upon my passing. I watched from the other side, but there was very little I could do at that time.
The marriage of your daughter Fatima and Ali, was it a revelation from God?
No, it was not a revelation from God. It was a personal relationship. My daughter and Ali had much in common, and they truly felt that they understood what I wanted for the future of Islam.
Okay. Did Abu Bakr, Omar, Uthman, and Ali, the four successors, have any spiritual abilities?
They only had minor spiritual abilities. Upon my passing, I tried to influence them. Their guides tried to influence them. But in many instances, they relied upon their personal beliefs and experiences, and the spiritual influences did not have much influence upon them.
Who would have been your choice to take over your leadership upon your death?
I would have chosen Abu Bakr to take over my leadership, but I would have also felt that Ali could have done a good job.
The Muslim Brotherhood combines modern politics with classic Islam. They retain the idea of jihad and assassination. What is your opinion of the Muslim Brotherhood?
The retention of jihad and assassination is not in line with my teachings. I know that assassination was very common in my time. As I told you many times, it was a time of violence. Many people felt that by removing leadership by faith or by force, that things would improve. Today, individuals should never consider the idea of assassination and jihad. It should be the will of the majority that affect the paths of countries. It should be how individuals conform to the laws of God. It should determine whether they can guide modern religions. It should not be acts of violence that consider that. The act of brotherhood of Muslims is a wonderful concept. If that brotherhood would lead to solving the differences between the different facets of our faith, then it would be a wonderful thing. But it needs to be accomplished in peaceful manners.
Yeah. Is the split between the Sunni and the Shia planned by God?
Absolutely not. It is a result of misunderstandings. It is a result of how they felt, how the ancients felt, that leadership of the church should be chosen. I would have rather that the split had never taken place.
Do you see any way that the Sunni and the Shia could reunite?
The hatreds are incredibly deep. They've been going on for what, 1700 years? There's been, if you have not made progress in 1700 years, it is difficult to see how progress can be made in the future. However, as I have said earlier, there is a distinct possibility that God will send back an individual that could unite the two sects and make Islam a single formidable world religion.
What do you think when you see the split between the Sunnis and the Shiites taking place?
It saddens me greatly. I tried to unite Islam into a single force. Upon my death, Islam was weakened by dissension. That was not what I wished. I truly wish that I had more foresight and had taken the opportunity of my life to lay more detailed plans for the future of Islam.
In the Quran, God states that the analogies and the parables can only be understood by individuals that have deep knowledge. Why does the Quran not want the average person to understand the writings?
In the beginning, it was felt that a very strict set of guidelines and rules had to be enforced. There were many, many different tribes and factions. It was believed that if the understanding of the faith was confined to several individuals of great understanding and intellect, that it would be much easier for the faith to develop. That is why there are so many rituals in Islam.
Okay. What role did you play in the actual writing of the Quran?
I tried to tell my followers of my beliefs. I did not, in actuality, do much writing. How my followers and family remembered my teachings were how those teachings were recorded in ancient writings. Many recalled my teachings in different ways. I tried to keep my teachings relatively simple because I knew that the people to whom I was speaking were members of tribes, had relatively little educations, and were having to change the beliefs of the past. Most of the writings took place after my passing.
The religion Baha'i is based on Islamic principles and believes in coexistence with other religions. What do you think about the Baha'i and the man who established that faith? Was he a true messenger of God?
The teachings of Baha'i are, in actuality, very similar to the teachings of the one God. They believe that individuals should get along. They believe that while some of the Islamic principles are true to the teachings of God and should be followed, they also understand that in a modern world, religions need to get together and work together. There are many teachings in Islam that make coexistence difficult with other religions. The Baha'i do represent a path for Islam that could reunite and lead to coexistence.
Okay, I believe you answered this question before, but in case not, I will ask it again. What did you think about the election of Abu Bakr as leader after your passing?
I thought that it was a good thing. As I said, I would have chosen Abu. Things did not work out that he was going to be leader for a long period of time, and there was others that felt that he was not truly representing my teachings. But I was generally pleased that he was elected as leader.
It is written that the Quran contains verses only understood by deep thinkers, but we are receiving messages that God only speaks in simple messages. Will you please comment on this discussion?
The reality of the teachings of God are that his messages are quite simple. But in my time, we did not understand the simplicity of the teachings. Our times were very complicated, and our time was very violent. We reacted to those times, and the teachings and messages reflect those times. It is definitely true that God teaches love, faith in the one God, living a good life, helping others, charity. His teachings, many of them are similar to what the teachings are of Islam. But his teachings are incredibly simple. You have the opportunity to hear his teachings through many of Barry's messages, and you will hear nothing but the simple teachings of love and faith. We are living in very difficult and technical times. It is a time that a message of simplicity is required in order that future evolution can be assured.
The Quran states that humans are created as representatives of God on earth. Now that you're on the other side, will you comment on why God created humans?
God created humans so that they could learn lessons to become more like God. So, in that sense, humans are truly representatives of God on earth. He gave them free will, and he allowed the existence of evil. Free will can be used to serve God, or it can serve evil. That is the test for humans. But humans have been sent back and simply can be considered as representatives of God on earth.
In your opinion, did Ali play an important role in Islamic history?
I felt that Ali, well, he felt that he was following my commands, did not follow through on many of the teachings as I would have followed through. But he has played an important role in Islamic history.
Have any of your close followers reincarnated since your death?
Yes. You are hearing one of my reincarnated followers speaking my words. There have been others, but there have been few that have been accepted as true messengers.
Has the Quran been changed over time?
There have only been minor changes in the Quran. I would have hoped that the teachers that followed in my footsteps would have attempted to make some changes to the Quran that would reflect the religion in modern times. The ancients felt that only the true interpretation of the Quran would lead to success for the Islamic faith. And that is why the Quran has been preserved in basically its original fashion.
Okay. Muhammad, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such an honor. Do you have a final message for us?
Yes, I hope that my followers will take time to listen to the words that I speak in these messages. I want the Islamic faith to be able to adapt to modern times, to solve its problems, and to become and stay one of the world's greatest religions. My heart truly belongs to Islam. I love all of the followers. I hope that my words will bring you happiness. I hope that my words will lead you to a path that will help you learn and will prepare you for the joyous day that your life ends and that you join us in heaven. Have no doubts that God is truly great. Have no doubts that God is all powerful. And have no doubts that there is a small energy of God in all of you. That is truly the beauty of the human race. The fact that God has seen fit to put a small portion of his energies into all of your bodies. Learn to love, learn to cherish others, learn to show charity towards others. You are living in a time where many, many people need help. You are living in a time where many people need guidance. And you are living in a time where all individuals must understand that violence is never the answer. Violence should only be resorted to protect the innocent. Violence should never be resorted to gain power, to gain wealth, to gain positions of strength. Follow my words, follow the teachings of God. Know that there is only a single God. I refer to him as Allah. Some refer to him as Spirit. Some simply call him God. But there is only one. So thank you for listening to me on this day. I will return again to you in the future, and I appreciate all of the questions that you give to Barry and that I have an opportunity to answer. As I say, I will return in the future, and hopefully I can continue to strengthen the Islamic faith through these messages and prepare the faith for the future. So goodbye. Thank you for listening, and I will return to you again.
Thank you, Muhammad. You are a wonderful soul.
Thank you so much for trusting me to bring you the words. I hope that I have done a sufficient job for him. I have only the greatest love for the Prophet, and as I look into my prior lives, I totally understand why I've been chosen for this mission. So thank you. We will return to you again in the future. Please feel free to submit questions to us, and I will make them part of the next session. Thank you, and may God's will be upon all of you.
Thank you. Bless you all.